Welcome to my lab, guys. Today we are hitting our lower body, legs, and also abs. Legs, abs, legs, abs, legs, abs. Yeah.
Every single day you wake up with a war inside your head. The moment your eyes open, the battle begins. Not with the world, not with your boss, not with your family, but with yourself. And the enemy is subtle. It whispers. It seduces. It tells you to stay in bed just a little longer. It tells you that you're too tired, too broken, too late. That voice is not your friend.
20 jumping
that
jacks,
voice is
20
not
heel
your
taps,
future. That voice is your
and then
future.
seated.
And if you listen to it, you will drown in a
Heel
life
tap,
of mediocrity disguised as
heel
comfort.
taps.
Your feelings
Okay,
are liars.
5, 4,
They will betray
3,
you. They are
2,
built to seek what is
and 1.
easy, not what is right.
1,
Your feelings care about
2,
short-term comfort,
3,
not long-term growth.
4.
Your mind, on the other hand, is your weapon. But like any weapon, it is only as sharp as you train it to be. Most people never train it. Most people let their emotions run the show, and they wonder why their life feels like chaos. They react, they complain, they blame. But the truth is simple. Your life is a reflection of who's been in charge, your mind or your feelings. And if you want to become someone who is dangerous in the best way possible, someone unshakable, someone who moves through fire and keeps moving forward, you gotta learn to master the voice in your head. Discipline is not about motivation. It's not about feeling good. It's about doing what needs to be done even when you feel like trash. Especially when you feel like trash. That's when it counts. Anyone can move when they feel like it. That's basic. That's easy. That's average. But moving when every cell in your body screams to stop, that's power. That's freedom. That's where self-respect is born. You don't earn confidence by talking nice to yourself in the mirror. You earn it in the dark, in the silence. When no one is watching and you still choose to do the hard thing, that's where the real ones are built. You have to understand this. Your feelings are passengers. They do not drive the vehicle. They do not set the direction. They do not get a vote. They are allowed in the car, but they are not allowed to touch the wheel. Your mind, your will, your discipline, your standard is the driver. And when you finally take that wheel with both hands and say, I don't care how I feel today, I'm getting it done. That's the day everything starts to change. Most people live like slaves to how they feel. I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like
Second setting, 10.
I don't feel like working on my dreams
9.
today. And they wonder why they're stuck in the same loop year after year. Feelings make excuses. The mind makes moves. Feelings negotiate. The mind decides.
3.
Feelings seek comfort. The mind
2.
seeks greatness. You cannot serve both.
1.
You either bow to your emotions or you rise with your discipline. And here's the reality. They will never stop. The feelings won't disappear. You will never feel ready. You will never feel like waking up early, grinding when you're tired, sacrificing when no one claps. That's the price. That's the entry fee. People want results, but don't want the war that comes with earning them. But the war is what shapes you. The pain is what cleans you. The resistance is what makes you worthy. If you can show up consistently, especially when you don't want to, you are unstoppable. Not because you're smarter, not because you're faster, but because you're forced in discipline. You have to be dangerous, not violent dangerous, meaning you are prone to weakness, a threat to excuses, a storm to comfort. Because once your mind becomes stronger than your feelings, you stop being controlled by moods and start being fueled by mission. You stop needing inspiration and start creating transformation. And that shift, that internal switch where you stop chasing motivation and start executing regardless is the beginning of you. Make no mistake, it isn't death. The old you has to die. The one who let fear lead. The one who made decisions based on rules. The one who needed everything to be perfect before taking action. That version of you, kill it, mourn it, bury it, then rise with a new creed. I do not negotiate with weakness. I do not explain mediocrity. I do not bow to temporary feelings. My mind is in command. There will be mornings where you wake up empty. Days where the weight feels unbearable. Moments where everything inside tells you to quit. That is not a sign to stop. That is a call to arms. That's when you lean in. That's when you whisper back to the darkness. You picked the wrong one. Because greatness isn't made when things feel good. It's made when things feel like hell and you walk through it anyway. When you crawl if you have to. When you bleed and keep crawling. That's what separates you. That's what builds someone unbreakable. Let the world underestimate you. Let them talk. Let them count you out. Because they are watching the outside. You know what's being built on the inside? They see struggle, but you know it's sharpening. They see failure, but you know it's forging. They see a quiet, disciplined, dangerous man or woman who doesn't need to scream, doesn't need to pose, doesn't need validation, because your validation is in the mind. Your reward is in the process. Your strength is in the silence. Keep going. Say the words to yourself every morning. My mind is stronger than my feelings. Say it when you don't feel like it. Say it when you're broken. Say it when you want to quit. Say it until you become it. Because when your mind leads, your life changes. When your discipline leads, your destiny changes. And when you become the kind of person that gets it done no matter how you feel, there's nothing the world can take from you. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be relentless. You don't need to be gifted. You need to be consistent. You don't need to feel ready. You need to move anyway. That's how champions are made. That's how lives are changed. That's how legacies are built. The people you admire, the ones who built empires, changed their bodies, rewired their lives, did not do it because they felt amazing every day. They did it because they were obsessed with something deeper than feeling good. They were obsessed with doing good, becoming good, living in alignment with the highest version of themselves. That kind of obsession doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't need comfort. It feeds on clarity. It thrives in chaos. It lives in that brutal space between who you are and who you need to be if you stop letting emotion dictate your behavior. Most people flirt with progress. They dabble with discipline. They dance with their dreams instead of locking them down and making them real. But when your mind is stronger than your feelings, you stop flirting. You commit. You become dangerous to anything that stands between you and the life you're built for. This isn't about being a robot. This isn't about being cold or heartless. This is about finally being honest. Honest that your excuses are killing you. Honest that your comfort is lying to you. Honest that your potential is being murdered by the soft, seductive voice that says maybe later. Number 3, not later, not tomorrow, now. Because once you recognize that you are not your feelings, you start to break free. You stop chasing happiness, you start creating meaning. You stop asking life to be easier and start asking yourself to be better. That's where freedom lives, in the discipline to override the noise and do what needs to be done anyway. And you have to choose it daily, over and over. When the world tempts you with distractions, when your friends beg you to slack off, when your body aches, when your mind tries to justify quitting, you will have to decide who you are. Not once, not twice, but every damn day. And you must do it when no one is looking. Because that's the test. That's where transformation happens, not in public victory, but in private battles. Not in motivation, but in mastery. The quiet mastery of doing what is hard, what is necessary, what is required, without applause, without spotlight, without sympathy. That's what builds the unbreakable. That's what carves the rare few who rise above the noise and make something immortal out of their lives. You want to be great? Then be willing to be misunderstood. Be willing to be mocked. doubted, rejected, because the road to greatness is paved in isolation. It's quiet, it's brutal, it's long. But if you stay in it, if you stay disciplined, when your soul screams for relief, you come out the other side, a different creature. You won't just be stronger, you'll be forged, hardened, focused. You'll move differently, speak differently, think differently, because you'll know something most people don't. How to win the war within. That's the only war that matters. The war between comfort and greatness, between fear and forward, between feelings and focus. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to knock on your door and hand you discipline. No one's going to give you a life you dream about. You have to take it with blistered hands and a bruised heart. You have to take it. Not once, but every single day. That's what people don't understand. Discipline isn't something you build and then you're done. Discipline is something you renew with sweat and sacrifice. Every time you hear that voice telling you to stop, and that voice will never shut up. But you don't need it to. You just need to learn to ignore it. So don't ask for permission. Don't wait for
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't negotiate with weakness. Decide who you are. Decide what kind of life you're willing to suffer for. Decide what kind of legacy you're willing to live for. And then move. Move like your life depends on it. Move like every step is a declaration that you will not be average. Move like comfort is poison. Like weakness is death. Because it is. Not a physical death, but a death of the soul. A slow, silent death that creeps in every time you choose what's easy over what's right. That's the real cost of comfort. That's the price of being a slave to your feelings. Your mind must lead. Your mission must lead. Your purpose must lead. Not your pain, not your boredom, not your insecurity. And when your purpose leads, everything else follows. You stop chasing motivation and become the source of it. You stop waiting for the right moment and start creating it. You stop being a victim and start becoming a weapon, a force, a storm that doesn't flinch, doesn't bend, doesn't break. That's what's possible when your mind is stronger than your feelings. You want a different life? Then be a different person. Not next year, not next week. Now, the version of you that gets it done, regardless of circumstances, that version is already inside you, buried under years of excuses, suffocating beneath the weight of every maybe later you've told yourself. But it's there, waiting. And it will rise the moment you stop living by feelings and start living by decisions. Because your destiny doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to how you move. The world doesn't reward feelings. It rewards results. And results don't care if you're tired, scared, angry, or uninspired. They don't care if you had a run, if someone broke your heart, if your past is heavy. Results only come to those who show up consistently, fiercely, regardless of circumstance. That's the difference between those who wish and those who win. The ones who wish are always waiting for the right mood, the right motivation, the perfect moment. But the ones who win, they show up broken, they show up bleeding, they show up afraid, and they still get it done. Not because they felt like it, but because their mission demanded it. Because they made a vow to themselves that they would no longer be a prisoner of their emotions. That vow, that shift, that is the beginning of real power. Most people don't need more information. They need more self-respect. Because when you respect yourself, you don't let your feelings sabotage your future. When you respect yourself, you don't sell your potential for the price of temporary pleasure. When you respect yourself, you do what's necessary, you do what most won't. Not for validation, not for applause, but because you gave your word to the man or woman in the mirror, and that word means something. Promises to themselves like it's nothing. They lie to their own reflection, and they wonder why they feel empty. You want confidence? Keep your word. Keep it when it's inconvenient.
5-6.
Keep it when it hurts. Keep it when no one knows but you. That's how you build a mind that dominates feelings. That's how you build a self that cannot be moved. Everything you want is on the other side of discomfort. Everything. But the path to get there is paved in discipline. That word again. Not motivation, not inspiration, discipline. The daily decision to rise above how you feel and act according to who you are. And the more you do it, the quieter your feelings get, the stronger your mind becomes. It's not magic, it's repetition. Every time you override emotion and execution, you build momentum. And momentum is a dangerous thing. Because once you start stacking wins, tiny wins, quiet wins, daily wins, you begin to believe. Not in theory, not in dreams, but in reality. You start to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you stop needing anyone else's permission. Your feelings will try to pull you back every time you level up. They'll whisper, you've done enough. You deserve a break. It's not worth the struggle. But that's the trap. That's the soft life called you. And a soft life is seductive when it robs you of your edge. It makes you weak. It convinces you that average is acceptable. It tells you that being like everyone else is enough. But if you're hearing this, then I know one thing. You were never meant to be average. There's a part of you that's hungry. A part of you that knows you're capable of more. And that hunger will never be fed with comfort. It will only be satisfied by growth, by evolution, by war. The war against the weaker version of yourself. So fight. Fight every day. Fight with everything you've got. Not against the world, but against a lie that says, this is just who I am. Number, that's who you've been. Who you are is forged in what you do now. In the decisions you make when you don't want to. In the steps you take when you'd rather stop. In the moments you rise when everything inside you wants to fall. That's where character is built. That's where pride is earned. That's where the shift from average to elite begins. Not in talent, not in gifts, but in the quiet, discipline to do what's right over and over and over again. And yes, it will hurt. Growth always hurts. But so does regret. So does staying stuck. So does watching your potential run while you scroll, while you wait, while you make the same excuses for the 1,000th time. You get to choose pain of discipline or pain of regret. One transforms you. The other destroys you slowly. Make no mistake. Life is going to break you. But if your mind is stronger than your feelings, it won't end you. It'll build you. It'll sharpen you. It'll turn you into someone who can walk through fire and still rise with clarity in their eyes and purpose in their step. Stop needing to feel ready. Stop needing to feel good. Stop needing to be great. Need to be honest. Need to be consistent. Need to be relentless. Because that's what this responds to. Not emotion, not excuses, but execution. Ruthless, focused, disciplined execution. And when that becomes your standard, when that becomes your identity, everything changes. You won't need the hype. You won't need the applause. You'll be too busy building, too busy becoming, too busy outworking every part of your old self that used to run the show. And when that version of you starts to emerge, the one who doesn't blink when it's hard, who doesn't fold when it's heavy, who doesn't run when it's uncomfortable, you start to realize you were never weak. You were just undisciplined. You were never broken. You were just living by emotions instead of by principles. Because strength was always in you. Fire was always in you. Discipline doesn't build it, it reveals it. It pulls it from the depths of your soul. It drags it into life through repetition, through pressure, through sacrifice. That's what most people will never understand.
But you have to love it. Keep the grind on.
They think the
Teach your
grind
body.
is punishment. They think
The bigger training,
but the ones who
humida
rise,
haiwezi kuwa
the ones who win,
vile
they
unataka.
understand the truth. Discipline is the highest
That's
form
why
of
napiga
love.
15.
It's the love you show yourself.
One,
When you say,
two,
I will not let you
three,
live below your potential.
four,
I will not let you be ruled by weakness.
six,
I will not let
seven,
you waste this one life you've been given. You think freedom comes from doing whatever you want, whenever you feel like it?
two,
That's not freedom.
3,
That's slavery to emotion.
4.
That's how most people live. Enslaved by their impulses, controlled by distraction, led by fear. Real freedom, it only comes through discipline. Through commanding your mind to lead. And refusing to let your feelings
Thank you, Jasmine, for the follow.
because when
Can you
you
tap here,
operate
kiddo?
from your mind, from your standard, from your vision, you become untouchable. You don't need the world to cooperate. You don't need the weather to be nice. You don't need people to like you. You just need a reason, a mission, a vow, and then you grind. You show up when it's hard. You deliver when it's inconvenient. You rise when everything says sink, and you keep going. Because it's not about how you feel today.
2 more sets to go.
You're becoming for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's not about comfort, it's about character, it's not about ease, it's about execution. And once you start living like that, you don't just change your body or your bank account or your habits, you change your
2 more
identity.
sets to go.
You stop saying, I'm the kind of person who tries. You start saying, I'm the kind of person who finishes. You stop identifying with weakness and start walking in power. You stop getting pulled by emotion and start being pulled by vision. And let me tell you, vision beats emotion every time. Vision doesn't care about mood. Vision doesn't care about drama. Vision doesn't ask for permission. Vision just says, let's go. And your job is to follow even when it's dark. Especially when it's dark, that's when the real ones show up. That's when discipline matters most. Not when it's easy, not when it's loud, but when no one's clapping and nothing makes sense, and the only thing keeping you in motion is the decision you made when you were clear, when you were still, when you looked in the mirror and said, this time we finish, you will be tested. Every level demands a stronger version of you. Every breakthrough requires a breakdown of the old you. And that pain, that fire, that crushing pressure, you feel it's not there to
The
destroy
fourth
you.
set.
It's there to build you. It's life's way of asking, are you serious? Do you really want this? Or were you just
Let us
talking?
dig deep.
And every time
1,
you choose to
2,
move forward anyway,
3,
to lean into the
4,
pain, to execute,
5,
in spite of the pressure, you answer that question
7,
with your actions.
8,
And that answer rewrites your story.
10,
Not just
1,
in your results, but
2,
in who you become.
3.
Because the goal
4.
isn't just to succeed. The goal is to become someone who cannot be broken by emotion, who cannot be led by fear, who cannot be shaken by struggle. This world is starving for that kind of man, that kind of woman. Not the ones who scream online, but fold in silence. Not the ones who talk big when the lights are on, but disappear when no one's watching. The world doesn't need more hype. It needs more heat, more fire, more people who do what needs to be done without needing to feel good about it. People who
Let's keep
grind
tapping,
life,
guys.
build
If you
relentlessly,
have
and lead themselves first. People who
You have gifts?
permission to evolve,
only need 100 roses,
pause to grow, who
I
don't
really
wait to
appreciate
feel ready, they just get ready by doing. That's what this is about, not hype, not motivation.
let's keep tapping, guys.
Mastery of self, of mind, of movement. And when your mind becomes stronger than your feelings, when you finally train it to lead, you begin to operate at a different frequency. You stop chasing emotions and start building momentum. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. You stop doubting and start deciding. You don't waste time wondering if you're good enough. You declare that you are, and you back it up with discipline, daily, ruthlessly, relentlessly. And
Fine,
that's
so to
when
me,
life starts bending to your will.
Thank you, dear, for the
That's
life.
when doors open, not because you knocked, but because you kicked them in. That's when people stop questioning your potential and start respecting your presence because they can feel it. They can feel the shift in your energy when your mind is in charge. You walk different, you speak different, you think in straight lines, not in circles of self-doubt. You become calm under pressure, clear under chaos, focus in the face of temptation. Because when your life is built on decisions, not feelings, storms don't scare you anymore, they train you. Pain doesn't stop you, it forges you. Resistance doesn't block you, it builds what's required for your next level. And everyone around you, they start to notice. They start to realize this isn't a phase, this isn't a trend. This is who you are now. This is how you move. But you're not doing it for them. You're doing it because you made a decision that your life would no longer be governed by the weakness of temporary emotion. You're doing it because you got tired of being the version of yourself that always gave in, always gave up, always came close but never crossed the finish line. You got sick of that mediocrity.
Let's go, guys.
So you burned the old self down, you buried the excuses, you stopped explaining your pain and started transforming it into power. And every time you choose discipline over feelings, you lay another brick in the foundation of that new identity. This path is not for everyone. Most people will tap out. They'll make peace with average. They'll make dollars out of their emotions, out in every blue swing like it's truth. But not you. You're different. You've chosen the harder way, the higher way. You've chosen to become uncommon. And uncommon people don't wait to feel like it. They move like it's already done. They rise with purpose. They fall with grace. They keep showing up until their name echoes in rooms they haven't entered yet. Not because they're loud, but because they're consistent. Not because they're talented, but because they refuse to quit. And that's what makes you dangerous. Your refusal to quit. Your refusal to let a bad day become a bad day.
We'll finish 5 sets for 15 reps. Each workout.
To be anything less than what you were created to be. Most people don't even realize how close they are. How close they are to a different life, a stronger mind, a higher level of existence. But they keep quitting in the valley, not knowing the mountaintop was only one more painful step away. You're not going to do that. You're not going to waste the pain. You're not going to throw away the sacrifice. You're going to dig deeper, lock in, and keep moving forward. Because now you understand it's not about how you feel. It's about what you've decided. It's about the standard you set. It's about the mission you've sworn your life to. That's what drives you. Not motivation, not emotion, but a mission, a vow, a code you live by. And when you operate from that place, you become untouchable. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. You build a mind that leads a body, a mission that leads a life, a standard that leads a legacy. Let the world feel sorry for itself. Let the weak chase comfort. Let the average talk about what they could do. You're too busy doing it. Too focused, too disciplined, too committed. You don't run from the darkness, you train in it. You don't pray for easier battles, you become the one the battle fears. And every time your feelings rise to stop you, you answer them with action. You answer them with execution. You answer them with discipline. So sharp it cuts through every excuse, every delay, every ounce of weakness trying to crawl back into your life. This is your creed now. My mind leads, my feelings follow, my standards never drop, my execution never fades. I am not a prisoner of my past. I am not a slave to my emotions. I am a weapon of purpose. I am a force of discipline. I am the one who gets it done no matter what. And when it's all said and done, when the grind is over, when the lights go out, when the world forgets your name, you'll still be standing. Not because it was easy, not because life gave you a break, but because you became the kind of person who didn't need one. You became the storm that outlasted the season. You became the warrior who didn't flinch when it got hard, who didn't fold when it got lonely, who didn't shrink when the pressure came. You rose, you fought, you bled, and you kept going. And in that silence, when the noise fades, and all that's left is your reflection staring back at you, you'll You'll know you didn't
We're using the
You'll
same
know you didn't sell your soul for comfort.
workout technique
Live by emotion.
by different number of reps.
Live by decision.
The first one was 15, the second one you're going 20.
You didn't wait to feel
Then we
ready.
change our
You
workout.
chose to be ready. And that choice repeated a
Yeah, no
thousand
pain, no
times in the
gain.
dark is what made you dangerous. That's what made you free. So let the world chase what feels good. Let them worship motivation
five,
as a god.
four,
You got something they don't. You
three,
got fire in your
two,
soul and still in your spine.
one,
You got discipline
two,
in your blood.
3,
You got a mind
four,
that doesn't
five,
beg it commands.
6,
You've got a mission
7,
that doesn't
eight,
fade, it burns.
9,
And when the world asks
10,
how you did it, how you transformed, how you
2,
built, how you survived, you will
4,
look them in the eyes and say,
5,
because
6,
I stopped living
7,
by how I felt. And I started
9,
living by who I decided to be.
20.
Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Because feelings will fade.
That is our first set.
Legacy will
Let's keep
remain.
tapping, guys.
Stay hard. You hear that tension in your gut.
Let's keep tapping the screen.
Whisper, you're not enough. That's your
4 more
story.
sets to go.
Stop running from that hunger. That hunger punches you in your gut.
4 more sets to go.
When your alarm drags you to sleep. It
Let me
slaps you
reduce some
awake
choke in the
because it knows
back.
you're alive. And it won't stop until you stand
4 more
up
sets to go.
every god-awful second. This isn't about fluff or feel-good fantasies. This is raw, jagged, bone deep truth cracking open your limits. You think about getting rich? Good. Then you must bleed for vision. You must suffer. Wealth isn't given, it's wrestled from your convulsive excuses and limp self-doubt. Here,
4 more sets to go.
attitude isn't an accessory, it's your sharpened blade. You wake each morning and look life in the eye and say, I'm not here to survive, I'm here to dominate. That's the voice you feed.
Wow.
You teach it discipline by stripping away comfort until each breath tastes like purpose. Communication, it's your heartbeat. Speak only what fires you up so others feel the heat. Silence the crap that weighs on you gossip. Self-pity, the whining that masquerades as struggle.
Second set.
Replace it with intensity, tone that hums with conviction, words that carve stone, connection that penetrates through bullshit veneer and lands straight in the marrow. You train your tongue like a weapon you don't negotiate. You command. Self-discipline is that unforgiving drill sergeant beating your excuses into shape. You wait when the body screams rest. You push when the world whispers quit. You show up in the dark before the sun gives you permission to rise. You show up when everyone's already gone home. You are alone in that silence. And there you fall in love with the pain that forges character, that shreds your weaker self, until only ruthlessness toward mediocrity remains. You don't see
Second
color,
set.
you embrace the bird as your ally. Each drop of sweat proof that you are alive.
20,
You can leap farther,
19,
climb higher.
18,
Mindset, you
17,
must choke it until it
16,
spits out excuses
15,
and bleeds out
14,
belief. Your
13,
mind is a battlefield.
12,
Terrain littered with doubts.
10,
I'm not good
9,
at this. Maybe
8,
tomorrow.
7,
You uproot
6,
them with the tenacity of a
5,
soldier, taking
4,
ground inch by inch.
3,
You cultivate a
2,
relentless conviction that echoes in your blood. I will change. I will endure. I will rise. That
Thank you,
conviction
dear.
makes the drums in your chest. When the mirror
Hi.
reflects a trembling soul, not courage, but fierce potential waiting to be weaponized. You think about living more positively? Positivity isn't sunshine and rainbows. It's the fire in your gut when the storm tears everything down. It's gravitational force pulling you upward through chaos. You don't cling to good feelings, you mine them from hardship. You anchor hope inside struggle, and it becomes unbreakable. Better every day. You know there's no finish line, only the relentless chase. Every dawn you are being remade. Complacence is poison that seeps through cracks, so you tear the cracks open. You fail, you fall, you rise each moment.
Let's keep tapping, guys.
Temper your heart. Stoke that furnace inside.
Road to 1,000 likes.
Not in comfort, but in how fast you bleed growth.
Road to 1,000
There is
likes.
no rest. The journey demands you, and only you love, suffering like a woman scorned in the ring, bruised and determined and rising on blood-soaked gloves. You don't ask for permission, you seize it.
Here.
You don't wait, you charge forward. You don't just dream of being.
Road to 1,000 likes.
Obliterate the seed of a lackadaisical existence. Plant the standard of excellence. Water it with grit.
Road to 1,000 likes.
You become violent with your vision. Devour every second until your new self is not just possible, it's unavoidable. So endure. Be impatient. Be ruthless. Be focused. focus as a sniper, honing in on transformation. Every wretched moment is your crucible. Every breath
3 more sets to go.
and ambition carves you closer to who you must become. This isn't motivational fluff. This is blood ritual.
3 more sets.
You bleed to live. You suffer to ascend. You transform through suffering. You make yourself suffer. There comes a point where the pursuit itself turns hollow, when the bank account grows and the trophies stack, but your soul starts to rot in silence. You feel it. That echoing emptiness in the moments no one claps for you. The applause fades, the lights dim, and you're left alone with the question no one can answer for you. Who the hell am I when there's nothing left to chase? That's the silence. Most people
We go in set number 3.
That's the part where suffering begins to speak its native tongue. Because only through pain do we start to strip away the illusion. Desire is a hunger that never sleeps. It shapeshifts. First, it wants money. Then it wants recognition. Then it wants legacy. But no matter how much you give it, it crawls back with more teeth. You try to feed it comfort, feed it pleasure, feed it distraction, but it doesn't get full. It only gets louder. So you try to escape it. You drink it away. You scroll past it. You buy things to bury it under novelty. But every night, when the world goes dark and you close your eyes, you feel the hole again. That void in the center of your chest that no luxury can touch. That's the soul calling you back to something real. You will not find peace in the world's promises. The world will tell you to chase your dreams, but it won't tell you the cost. The cost is your innocence. The cost is your delusion. The cost is everything you thought would make you whole burn in ash, so you can finally stand naked in front of yourself. And that's when suffering becomes whole. When it stops being the enemy and starts becoming the mirror, you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start whispering, let it come. Let it go away what's false. That's when you begin the true work, not of building an empire, but of dismantling the fortress around your own heart. You are not meant to be safe. You are meant to be true. And truth is sharp. It cuts through every mask, every lie you tell yourself, every half-truth you built your identity on. The truth doesn't care about your comfort. It doesn't care if you're tired. It wants you stripped bare, trembling, emptied out of everything that's not real. And when that truth finally settles in,
2 more sets to
you
go.
realize something terrifying. You spent most of your life climbing ladders against the wrong wall. And the moment you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to playing the game. You either step into the fire willingly, or you rot in place, pretending you never saw. The reckoning always comes. For some, it's at the height of success. For others, it's on the bathroom floor, just by years of running from themselves. But it comes, the moment when the soul demands something deeper than achievement, the moment when being better isn't about status, it's about becoming whole. And that path is not glamorous, it is not sexy, it is not marketable, it is lonely, cold, and stripped of applause. But it is the only path worth walking. Because when the world takes everything from you, your money, your health, your name, what remains is
2 more sets to go.
always real. Your
Let's keep
capacity
let's
without
keep tapping.
to love without needing,
Nda kusema
to
kapi.
let without clinging. So
Si
you stop
hola
chasing.
ngendi.
You stop pretending there's something out there that will finally fix you, and instead you turn inward, you face the darkness like an old friend. You feel the sharpness of every lie you swallowed. You sit in the ache, and in that stillness you begin to hear something different. Not the roar of ambition, not the scream of ego, but the quiet, steady breath of truth. It says, you are not your story. You are not your past. You are not even your pain. You are the one who watches, the one who endures, the one who remains. And in that moment, there is no more becoming. There is only being. No more fighting to be someone else. No more running from the wound. You walk into the fire, eyes open, arms wide, letting it all burn. And what survives that fire, what emerges, when everything false is turned to smoke, that is you. That is freedom. That is a sacred reward of suffering. The fire doesn't end. It never ends. You just stop fearing it. You stop flinching when it touches your skin. You stop asking for a way out and start asking for more clarity, more pain, more truth. Because the deeper it burns, the more falsehood it purges from your bones. You start to see that suffering isn't punishment, it's purification. It's a sacred flame meant to incinerate everything that isn't real. It doesn't care about your comfort. It cares about your transformation. That's why most people never change. Because they're too soft to stay in the fire long enough to become something else. The world teaches you to run from suffering, avoid pain at all costs. Numb yourself, distract yourself, medicate yourself into a coma of convenience. But no one tells you the truth. Your pain is your teacher. Your suffering is the only honest mirror you've got. Because pain doesn't lie. It tells you exactly who you are. It shows you where you're weak, where you're hiding, where you're living a damn lie. That heartbreak, that loss, that humiliation, that was your invitation. That was life saying, come closer. I've got something to show you about yourself. And if you had the guts to stay in that moment, just stay and feel every ounce of it. Without flinching, you would have been reborn. But instead, most people run. They chase the next distraction. They build a life around avoiding their own reflection. But what you run from owns you. What you avoid becomes your prison. You can pretend to be successful. You can wear a mask that fools the world. But when you lie down at night and close your eyes, there's no escaping that voice inside. The one that knows the truth. The one that knows you've been hiding from your own potential. You can't lie to that voice. It doesn't speak in words. It speaks in that gut-wrenching silence. That ache in your chest that never quite goes away, that's not depression. That's the soul trying to wake you the hell up. And when it does wake you up, it's not gentle. It's a goddamn earthquake. It shakes everything you thought was solid. It pulls the floor out from under your ego. It shows you how flimsy your foundations really were. And it's in that collapse, when everything breaks, that you finally have a shot at being real. Because the old you has to die for the real you to breathe. That's what people don't want to hear. They want change without death, growth without pain, evolution without sacrifice. But it doesn't work like that. Transformation is violent. It rips, it tears, it burns down everything you clung to and dares you to rise from the ash. So you dig deeper. You stop waiting for someone to save you. You stop hoping life will get easier. You stop praying for peace before you've earned it. You pick up the axe. You look into your own eyes and say, we're not hiding anymore. We're going in. And you descend into the darkness, into the wounds, into the shame, into the rage, into every unlived moment of your life. You don't do it to suffer. You do it to remember. To remember who you were before the world told you to be. Before the masks. Before the lies. Before you traded your soul for a paycheck or a like or someone else's approval. You go back into the fire to reclaim what you left behind. And what you find there is not weakness. It's power. It's stillness. It's that unbreakable core that was buried under years of noise. It's the warrior that doesn't need a reason.
Just keep tapping, guys.
The truth. That part of you that doesn't bargain or wait, it just moves. It just does. It just is. And once you touch that part of yourself, you can never go back because you've tasted the whole thing. You've walked through hell and found yourself standing. You've learned the truth. Nothing out there can give you peace. Because peace isn't out there. It's forged inside. It's earned through suffering. It is yours only when you stop trying to escape the struggle and start embracing it as your path. Every day becomes a new kind of war. Not against the world, but against that old self. That soft, compliant version of you who lived for applause and feared judgment. That coward that wanted comfort more than growth. You don't hate him, you bury him. Every morning you wake up and outwork him, out-discipline him, out-suffer him. You leave him in the dust with every rep, every mile, every decision to keep moving when it hurts. Because you see what's
That is our second set
it's not death, it's
of
liberation.
workout.
You begin to live for the hard things. You crave the
I'm
moments
checking my
that test
body.
you. You chase
Then
this
we end
comfort like it owes you something. Because it does. It owes you yourself. The real you.
Welcome guys, let's keep tapping. Road to 1000. It's only 428 likes. Can we push to 1000 please?
To breathe, the one who walks into the storm smiling.
Push that to 1000. Push that to 1000.
They'll think you're obsessed. They'll call it unhealthy. They'll try to pull you back into the safe, the predictable, the polite. But you weren't built for that. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to erupt. To rip through every limitation placed on you and carve a life on
hold my legs, they are busting.
dead with the sound of your footsteps.
My thighs are pumped like shit.
What it looks like to die to the old self and rise again. Harder, wiser, cleaner. But none of that comes without sacrifice. You'll lose people, you'll lose comfort, you'll lose the version of life that made sense, but what you gain is sacred. You gain clarity. You gain strength that doesn't shout, it endures. You gain a spine that stands up in the face of anything. You gain the kind of peace that isn't calm, it's earned. It's forged in the crucible of everything you thought would destroy you but didn't. And when it's quiet, really quiet, you'll hear it. That faint, steady beat in your chest. The rhythm of a soul that has stopped pretending. The sound of a man or woman who has walked through their own fire and come out scarred but alive. No medals, no parade, just presence, just truth. Just the unshakable knowing that you are enough. Not because the world says so, but because you bled for it. That's what suffering gives you. Not comfort, not safety, but something far more powerful. It gives you yourself. And when you finally meet that self, the one who doesn't quit, doesn't flinch, doesn't lie, you realize.
Let's keep tapping, guys.
You don't need the world to understand you. You don't need to be rich. You don't even need to win. You just need to keep going. Keep suffering. Keep burning off what's false until only the essential remains. This is the path. Not because it's noble. Not because it's impressive. But because it's the only one that leads to freedom. Everything else is a slow death in disguise. So make peace with the fire. Welcome the pain. Honor the suffering. It's not here to hurt you. It's here to deliver you. Make yourself suffer. Suffering is not the enemy. It is not the villain of your story. It is a sculptor of your soul. The unseen hand that strips away everything you never needed to reveal the spine you forgot you had. It doesn't come to destroy. It comes to show you what you're made of when there's nothing left to hide behind. It does not arrive with mercy. It arrives with truth. Unfiltered, unforgiving. And that truth does not bend to your emotions. It does not yield to your plans. It burns with its own rhythm and teaches in silence. The lesson is not written in words, it is written in scars. And every scar becomes scripture when you learn how to read your pain. You were not born to be comfortable. You were not crafted in softness. Your bones were formed in the violence of birth. Your lungs screamed their first breath into a world already set against you. And yet you lived. You endured. Not because it was easy, but because deep down in your marrow, there's a knowing that pain is a language of awakening. Every great transformation begins in the pit, in the place where your will is shattered, where your ego is pulverized into dust. That's where the seeds are planted. Not in the sunlight of ease, but in the cold, cracked soil of despair. There's a purity in that place. A purity that can't be bought, can't be faked, and sure as hell can't be stolen. It comes only from walking into the fire and refusing to turn back. It's earned when your knees buckle, but you get up anyway. When your voice shakes, but you speak anyway. When your heart breaks open, not closed, and you let the bleeding cleanse you instead of killing you. This isn't about toughness. This is about truth. Because the toughest ones aren't the ones who never break. They're the ones who break and rebuild themselves so many times they forget how to stay broken. Suffering is not the absence of light. It is the pressure that cracks the illusion so light can finally get in. It's not darkness trying to consume you. It's light trying to reintroduce you to what's real. Because the truth is, most of what you thought mattered doesn't. Most of what you chased was noise. Most of who you were wasn't you. It was a costume sewn together by fear, stitched together by the hands of people who never knew your worth. Suffering tears the costume off. It leaves you naked, cold, and exposed. And in that exposure, there is a terrifying
so you want to
place,
push
because now you get to decide what you build. Now you get to write your story
We're doing
without
lunges.
apology.
Today we are hitting the
You start
quad.
to see the beauty in the broken. You start
That's
to see
much
that
bad.
the cracks in your armor weren't flaws.
The quad leads
they
to
were
the suffering.
openings, pathways where the pain entered,
Yeah.
yes, but also where strength was forged, where the old self leaked out and something wiser, harder,
that
more
feeling
grounded
isn't
took root.
good.
You stop asking, why me? And start whispering, let this shape me. Not because you enjoy it, but because you understand now it's the only way to become something more. You learn to walk with it.
12 feet
Not
set.
ahead of it, not behind it, with it.
1,
Step for step.
2,
You stop
3,
fighting to escape
4,
and start learning to absorb.
5,
You let the
6,
cold seep in.
7,
You let the ache
8,
teach you.
9,
You listen to what your wounds
10,
are saying instead
1,
of trying to silence them.
and 2.
And in that stillness, you realize suffering was never trying to ruin you. It was trying to reach you. It was trying to hand you
12,
the sword buried under
11,
every excuse you've ever made.
10,
The sword that
9,
only shows up
8,
when you're finally ready to stop
7,
lying to yourself.
6,
This world will
5,
not save you.
4,
This world is not built to carry
3,
you. It is built to
2,
test you, to confront you with your reflection. And every failure, every loss, every betrayal. And those moments are not random. They're invitations to go deeper, to peel back the layers, to meet the parts of yourself you buried because they scared you. But the parts that scare you are often the parts that hold your strength. The rage, the hunger, the relentless drive to become who you were before the world tried to tame you. And when you tap into that, when you stop fearing it, you begin to live differently. You no longer chase happiness. You stop asking life to be easy. You start asking to be stronger. You ask for sharper eyes, a steadier pulse, a heart that doesn't fold when the weight gets heavy. You begin to honor the grind, not for what it gives you, but for what it makes of you. Because that's the difference. Most people train for outcomes. You train for essence. You train to know who the hell you are when everything is taken from you and no one is watching. There is a strange peace that rises in that fire. A brutal calm. A serenity, not born of lack of struggle, but born of your surrender to it. You no longer beg for it to end. You simply walk through it. Quiet, focused, certain. Because the war is no longer outside, it's within. And the moment you stop fearing it, it becomes your home. The suffering becomes your cathedral, the pain becomes your altar. And every tear shed, every breath labored, every inch crawled becomes a prayer to the higher version of you screaming to be born. And if you stay there, if you stay long enough to endure the unraveling, you will meet someone on the other side. A version of you that doesn't need validation, doesn't need praise, doesn't need the world's permission to exist. A version of you that stands silent, grounded, complete, not because you become perfect, but because you finally become whole. That's the gift of suffering. It doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. There's no finish line out here, no final destination, no mountain peak where you get to stand with your arms raised and say, I've made it. That's a lie. Sold to the destiny. The truth is quiet. It doesn't celebrate. It doesn't congratulate. It just keeps walking. That's what suffering teaches you in the end. That this life isn't about winning. It's about enduring. It's about showing up when no one's clapping. It's about grinding through days that don't reward you, nights that don't comfort you. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need a reason to keep going, because moving forward becomes who you are. And as you grow older, you begin to see it everywhere. In the eyes of people who've lost more than they ever deserve to lose. In the hands of the broken who still reach out to build. In the silence of those who've walked through hell and don't need to tell the story anymore.
Guys,
You see that suffering is not a season. It's a thread woven into the fabric of being alive.
we have 3 sets to
You
go.
stop asking it to go away. You start learning how to carry it.
3 sets, 3 sets.
It has a truth, a quiet and sacred truth that keeps your feet grounded, your eyes sharp, your heart open, not in spite of the pain, but because of
3 sets to go.
this world will break you again and again. It doesn't care how strong you were yesterday. It doesn't remember what you survived last year. It comes fresh every day to test your resolve. And some
Let's
days
keep tapping, guys.
you'll win. Some days you'll fall harder.
Thank you for the follow.
And still, the next morning you rise. Not because you feel like it,
Immediately I'm following you back after the workout.
because somewhere inside, a part of
Let's keep tapping, guys. Road to 1,000 likes.
being alive means. This is the price. This is the weight you carry. Not for glory, but for the honor of not disappearing. You learn to live with it. The ache that never leaves. The silence that follows you even in a room full of noise. You learn not to fix it, but to feel it. To stop fighting it and start breathing through it. And in that breath, there's a kind of peace. Not the kind that makes you smile. The kind that makes you still. The kind that makes you understand that suffering isn't the enemy, it's the doorway. It's the gate you walk through to meet the parts of yourself you never would have found in comfort. The parts that don't scream. The parts that don't shine. The parts that simply endure. And so, you keep walking. No anthem, no applause. Just you. Just the road. Just the sound of your own breath in a world that rarely listens. And maybe that's enough. Not because it ends the pain, but because it makes space for it. Because it teaches you to live with it like an old companion. To stop waiting for relief.
Let's keep tapping,
and start
guys.
building a life inside the fire. A life where suffering no longer owns you but walks beside you. Quiet, constant, unyielding. And in that walk, step by step, you find something that feels like
Yes, I have to love the pain.
something that won't leave when everything else does. And that stays. Long after the words fade, long after the noise dies down, a weight in your chest, a whisper in your bones, a quiet knowing that you were here, that you suffered, that you stayed.
You're entitled to nothing but the work. No rewards, no easy days, no guarantees.
two,
Only the chance you
three,
show up, to sweat, to suffer,
five,
to sacrifice.
6,
The work owes you
7,
nothing, but you must
8,
give everything.
9, 10, down,
The price of your dreams
and 2.
is the discomfort of accepting it today. Half of being stubborn comes from resisting reality.
1,
It comes from resisting
2,
your thoughts, resisting
3,
the negative feeling.
4,
So acceptance
5,
means
6,
carrying the
7,
circumstances, the feelings,
8,
the thoughts
9,
with you,
10,
rather than fighting them.
1,
You need
2.
to work on yourself. If you just try to be pampered, and if you're trying to be soft, and if you're trying to be the victim of ourselves, you're not going to go anywhere. We need to get stronger. We need to get tougher. We need to not be afraid of failure. We got to face adversity. And adversity breeds character. We have to be willing to go through hardship, through suffering. Don't shy away from any of that because it just makes you stronger.
Acceptance isn't about settling or giving up, but it's about staring the storms of reality in the
Almost left to
face
go.
and knowing that you can find peace within it.
Hey,
Acceptance isn't about staying somewhere, but it's about
I don't
giving
know
you
what
the
to say.
clarity to
From
move
the start.
to where you're supposed to be.
we have to finish.
When things are falling
2 more sets to go.
to be able to say, hey, I'm thankful to be in this position because not only am I going to learn a lot, but I have this tremendous opportunity to overcome this, which is only going to make me stronger, better, and more skilled at what I do. Things may not be going well right now, but I'm still in a very, very good position compared to a lot of people in the world. There's a lot of people who are sick. There's a lot of people who are going to die today. You know, there's a lot of people who, you know, they're never going to have the opportunity to come back.
Good.
You know,
Let's
those
6 sets.
gratitude really matter.
The best stories in life, they're not the success stories, not the stories about winning, not the happily ever afters. The best story is when
1,
you everything
2,
along. You hit rock
3,
bottom, everyone counts
4,
you out, and somehow
5,
you claw your
6,
way back. That's the
7,
story we all remember. That's the one
9,
we all respect.
10,
Everyone roots for
1,
an underdog. Everyone
2,
loves a comeback. So if you're down and out right now, don't waste it. This is where your story begins.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
If you're living a comfortable life,
10,
it only
1,
means you are
2,
continuously staying
is the field of what you know already. So every time you are crossing that line, every time you are expanding that border, you are expanding that limit. For me, this means there is some growth, there is some new discovery. Because what you're doing is, you are bringing light into a space that before that time was a space of uncertainty. It's uncomfortable because you don't know the outcome.
If I have unbelievable big dreams and big goals, then I have to go through hard times. The hard times are a requisite for success. And so if you're going through hard times right now, it means that you're on the path to success. And it's not that you're on the wrong path, it's the feeling of being on the right path.
The biggest advice I can give you right now is just showing up. Show up. If you show up, there's a chance something could happen. If you want to be great, if you want to get the recognition, if you want all the things that you dream about, there is only one way to guarantee that you will have those things. Only one. And that is becoming so f***ing good at what you do, no matter what it is you do, that it is undeniable that other people recognize how great you are.
It's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
I'm not going to rest. I'm going to keep on pushing down. There are a lot of answers that I don't have. There are even questions that I don't have. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going, and I'll figure these things out as we go. Right? You just continue to build that way.
Can't see the proper light if you have never indulged in the very, very deepest dark times.
The work needs doing. It's just like around it. It just has to make it fun. And I think it just comes down to it. Is you just have to have fun work. And a lot of people put a lot of extra things between them and the work that they try and romanticize, they try and create superstitions around it, and they have. But like at the end of the day, the work doesn't care who you are. It just cares that it gets done.
Stop thinking that you're going to wake up on Monday morning and then have a perfect streak of perfect days where you do everything perfectly. You're not just going to decide on some random Sunday evening that you're going to wake up tomorrow and be a new person and do everything perfectly now. That's going to be a straight line to the top. The objective is improvement, which means being a little bit better today than you were yesterday. When you're in a position where you have all these bad habits and you haven't developed the character traits to be the person you want to be, it's ridiculous. You can't just change your personality on a whim. You have to incrementally change it over time by changing your actions. Don't think of it as, I'm going to be a new person. Think of it as, I'm going to get a little bit better every single day for the rest of my life. Expect big things. Think big. Think big. You can do it. You can do it. Why can't I do it? Take a little bit of piece at a time, of daily goals, monthly goals. You can make it happen. It can happen. What's impossible in your life, go after that. Have that. Go after what's impossible.
Let me tell you what comes on the road to success. If recently, at any point in the last 12 months, you've experienced doubt, if you have a lot of fear or anxiety on the road you're on, or if you've experienced those emotions recently about what you're doing, you feeling like an imposter, if you felt anything like rejection, like lots of rejection, you're on the road that I think you should be on, the right road, the road less traveled.
The moment you make a decision, the moment you say to yourself, this is the workout plan I'm doing, this is the diet, this is the business I'm starting, this is what I'm going to pursue, there is no turning back. You don't negotiate with yourself, you don't change the plan because it's not perfect for you anymore. You do
Yeah, so
what you said you were going to do.
I'm doing the last set here, drop set. Because that the set I was doing this ilikuwa na hizo kettle weight mbili, so I want to use one.
By yourself, with no applause, with no awards, with nobody telling you that you're and then once you start to build something, if you start to see the momentum and start to see the result,
Just going fast.
things, then you're going to get a little belief.
Nobody cares. You know, at the end of the day, nobody cares. What we're going through, how your body feels, nobody cares. We got to do our job.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Never back down when your back's against the wall. It matters how many times you get back up, not how many times you fall. It's about your mentality. What's the point of dreaming the dream if you're not working to turn that dream into reality? So speak life into your life. Say, I am purpose, I am healed, I am free, I am me, I am my next level, I am greatness. Speak life into me. Be your own motivation. You see, a legend, it's just an ordinary person with extraordinary determination. So find a way to make one. Because at the end, you just regret the chances you didn't take. So find the courage to take one. Your limit is you.
We, mapaja imejaa sana.
Don't ever be ashamed of anything you've done in your life. Face it, fix it, make it better. Build belief, build confidence. It's a point where nothing can hurt you because you know exactly who you are. You've faced your demons in your mind. You were able to hear all your past traumas. You were able to listen to them. You're able to say, okay, now I can now talk.
What I'm facing is more than me.
I'm no longer embarrassed. I'm no longer ashamed. Being ashamed is one of the biggest things that people nowadays in their lives feel them from moving forward. I'm ashamed of myself. We are humans.
So I'm turning it
If you always think that we're
around.
humans, you will always just be a human and always make the same mistakes. Go through the archives, dig it up, study it, and then use it for yourself.
It's how you gained mastery. See, feeling confident is because that's what you feel after you've done it over and over and over again. But true confidence begins the moment you're willing to try.
We are taken apart slowly, convinced to take an easier path, enticed by comfort. Most of us aren't defeated in one decisive battle. We are defeated one tiny, seemingly insignificant surrender at a time that chips away at who we should really be. It isn't that you wake up one day and decide, that's it, I'm going to be weak. No. It is a slow, incremental process. It chips away at our will, it chips away at our discipline. When you invest in something, and you hustle and you work for something, you got a different type of attachment to it. You won't have a cold day in hell for somebody trying to take this from you. We live by this, we die by this. We don't surrender, we don't retreat.
Once something's important to you, it never leaves your mind. If you always dreamt about being a singer-songwriter and you never did, you'll be haunted by that at the age of 70 because it's still right here, stored in the back of your mind. It's something that's meant for you, that's trying to call to you. You see, your dreams, you either pursue them or they fucking haunt you.
You're suffering from self-doubt while others are intimidated by your full potential. If your past self could see where you're at today, think of how impressed they would be.
Thank you for the follow, Doreen. I will follow you back.
Imagine there are eternal verities: truth, beauty, justice, love, courage, fortitude, passion. Think of all those things as virtues. So virtue is what all virtues have in common. That's the relationship of God to the good. God is the essence of the good. You might think, how would that manifest itself in your life? Well, that might be pursuit of the good. That's the pursuit of the good that unites all proximal good. Well, what is that exactly? Well, it's something like belief that it would be for the best, that all things flourish to the degree that that's possible.
We're not on the stage just because of talent or ability. We're up here because of 4 a.m. We're up here because of 2-a-days or 5-a-days. We're up here because we had a dream and let nothing stand in our way. If anything tried to bring us down, we used it to make us strong. We were never satisfied, never finished, we'll never be retired.
I'm moving forward with my life because I deserve a better life. There's a you inside of you that you haven't even met yet. There's a life waiting for you that you haven't even experienced yet because you're choosing to stay in a life that isn't meant for you no more. You have left your greatness, you have left your peace, you have left that fulfilled you that you know who you are. You have left that person on the shelf before too long. And you accepted something that's past its expiration date. But you gotta make the decision right now. You gotta make the choice and say, no more. I refuse to settle for less anymore.
The price of regret is much heavier than the price of discipline. You never want to wake up one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year down the road and go, man, I wish I would have listened to my gut. I wish I would have done this thing. We don't want to live in regret. If there's something you want to get done in work, your relationships, school, whatever it is, do it.
You have to start living your life in expectation. You have got to start expecting great things to happen for you in order for it to happen. If you live your life in expectations, that's what happens to you.
You began with a dream, a vision of what you could be. You've gotten a measure of success, but now that success has become a trap because you're addicted to what you've been. But that's not all that you're capable of. That's not all that you have to offer. That's not all that is within you. You've got to be willing to keep evolving, keep changing, keep developing. When they close out one door, you have to realize that a house is made of many doors. So open the next door and see what's behind it. And if you have to take down walls in order to expand your reach, your wealth, your gifting, your talents, then do so. But keep evolving.
Turn your wounds into wisdom. You will be wounded many times in your life. You'll make mistakes. Some people will call them failures. But I have learned that failure is really God's way of saying, excuse me, you're moving in the wrong direction. It's just an experience.
It's your unlimited desires that are clouding your peace, your happiness. Every desire you have is an axis where you will suffer.
Don't stop running toward your dream. It's very important. As you hold on to that dream, there are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times that are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. It's very important for you to know that. Don't say I'm having a bad day. Say I'm having a character building day.
Every man has two lives. And the second starts when he realizes he has just one.
The truth is, passion isn't in a person, it isn't in a place, and it isn't in a thing. It's something
Just keep tapping,
inside
guys.
of you.
Keep tapping, keep tapping.
Whatever position you're at, you want to be the bull, but I'm going to be better than anybody else. You can be the
Road to 1,000 likes. Imagine
it's just telling yourself
if each one of you
better than anybody else.
and you get two so that likes 300 only.
What you did,
I reach 1,000.
what you did.
So you might want to get honest with yourself. Like instead of doing this, I'll be a billionaire or this, do you really?
Yeah.
Because you can make it happen. You actually can. You time travel forward a year. You investigate the patterns that you have that are giving you the result that you want, and then you back your ass up to right here, right now, and you decide, am I willing to do this now?
Mostly
What's it?
trying to find out what it is that I can do
12,
that only I can do.
11.
That's the
10.
real challenge. And that
8,
is something that I think
7,
takes your life to figure
6,
out.
5,
We can actually tell
4,
people that you are
3,
successful because you
2,
can find yourself. That's
1.
independent of how much money you make. It's independent of how much followers you have. It's really
1,
about whether you have
2,
come to
3,
find
4,
out what it is
5,
that you
6,
can contribute,
7,
what impact you can have, no one else will have.
So the game of life, if it is a game, the end game is to be irreplaceable. You're one of a kind. You're original. There's nobody who can replace you, just as there's nobody who can replace Leonardo da Vinci. There's no one else like Napoleon Bonaparte. There's no one else like Steve Jobs. There's nobody else that can take their place. And that is the ultimate position of power in this world.
I'm making myself relax.
No longer push the snooze button. If any of you have been pushing the snooze button, waiting for some special moment in the future, waiting that everything's perfect, now is the time.
Concert remaining.
The cosmic alarm clock is ringing, saying, wake up, it's your time. Your dreams, your visions that you have chosen you.
I'm suffering a lot more than I think is tenable. A whole bunch of it's my fault. My life is not in the order it should be. I know I'm doing 50 things wrong. It's like, what the hell's wrong with me? What's wrong with the people around me? This is really serious. No, I'm not okay the way I am. I'm not okay at all the way I am. I know that. Well, no, you're nowhere near what you could be. That's the positive message. It's like, yeah, you're a mess, but you don't have to stay that way.
What makes Brady want to win a fit? What makes Jordan say, okay, I got 4? Like, it's not even a new season. He said, we got to get the 5th one. What makes Serena get 23? I'm telling you, it's not the money, the network. It's not, the vision board. It's, I believe, for those of us who are where we are, it's something within, and you can't go buy that. Like, you got to go within and find that and pull that stuff out.
Every human being is born unique. Each one of you was born with a DNA and a configuration of your brain that has never happened before in history. And I compare this uniqueness that each one of you has to a voice that's inside of your head. It's telling you, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. It's what fits you, it's what you're good at. But what happens with all of us as you get older is that voice gets weaker and weaker. You start thinking in terms of what really matters is I have to be comfortable. I have to look for a position that's comfortable. Well, masters are people who hear that voice and they hear it so strongly that they stay true to it throughout the course of their life.
1, 2,
The reason
3, 4,
you get yourself in a passionate place is so that you change your life, and the only thing that changes your life is making a decision.
1,
So while you're in
2,
this passionate state, that's where you make decisions. If you make a decision
1,
in a state
2,
without momentum, if you
3,
make a decision from a place where there's no
5,
passion, you're
6,
not going to get momentum.
7,
Kill momentum. It's decide,
10,
commit,
1.
and resolve.
Or your life's task. This was what you were meant to do in life. It's that seed that was planted at birth in your uniqueness.
How is the worst thing that ever happened to me the best thing that ever happened to me? Can you learn to stay calm in the chaos? Because, my friend, I have the chills. If you can do that, it will serve you so well in every single area of your life. In a relationship, in business, if you want to be an athlete, if you want to play games, like whatever it is that you do, one of the things that you're going to have to become great at is letting all of the noise drift away into nothing and getting into laser focus on the thing you're working on.
I just want you to try. In those moments where you hear yourself, I want you to try. In those moments where you know that it's time to speak up, I want you to try. That's all that I ever ask of you, because if you simply do that, you will literally unlock the potential of your life.
It's through the failure that we learn. It's the trial and errors. The error part is hugely important. Nurturing the edges. Trying to be at the edge of things. Right? So
In order to support innovation, you have to be comfortable with failure.
You decided there's something you wanted so bad that you unleashed all your desire. You became obsessed with it. It was a business or a car or a relationship or a transformation in your body. If there's something you once envisioned and now it's real, it's because you didn't just envision it, you brought so much emotion to it that now it's in your life. It was once a dream, it was once a goal, and now it's in your life.
Because I know how hard I've played every day. I know how much I'm willing to bleed for my goals. So this is not about emotional austerity. This is not about grinding yourself into the dirt. First of all, it's doing something you love, so that as you're grinding and going that hard, it's something that you just want to do on the other side. Because you're going that hard,
Thank you for your time.
the guilt that most people have.
We meet
Take time off.
tomorrow sometime, someplace. Thank you for the likes. Thank you very much.